Can this be true?
Tis. After years of living like paupers, the Bundys are going to do what the Rockefellers are doing. We're going to get our gas today from the full-serve pump.
Oh!
Let's rock.
Thanks, Dad.
Can I get a whoopin'?
Whoa, Bundy!
No Man presents, live from the nudie bar, the Married with Children podcast. And here are your hosts, Dan, Jamie, and Al.
God, I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I mean, I really love you, Jamie.
Aw, I love you.
I love you, Dan.
I love you guys.
And I love you, that other guy who's here.
Aw, I love you too.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you.
I love you.
All right, that's enough.
Well, I'm Jamie. I just got a new 8-track of Hotel California.
And I'm Dan, the boo-hoo with the you-know-who at the zoo. It ain't Steve.
and I'm Tyler. Let's boogie.
Yeah, let's boogie, man. We have a special guest on the show, Tyler Tigno himself. You know him from the Facebook group page. He's been there for a long time. Big supporter of the show. Patreon. He got his ticket into the nudie bar. So, how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Here to talk about things that are not toilet related, like you could see on my commentary with Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
Just for patrons only. Shh.
Yeah, so 3 people could watch it. So, now you have a very interesting way that you got into Married with Children.
Oh, yeah.
Please tell us. It's very unorthodox for a guy who's that into the show, so let us know.
Yes, I'm a man who's going to be turned 30 next year, and I had never seen an episode of Married with Children up until about 3 years ago.
Wow.
I lived in a household before internet that if your parents didn't want you watching something, guess what, kids? They could do it. And they did. And so it was cartoons only for me as a kid growing up. No, raunchy stuff with real people.
What about Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, they let me watch that.
Really?
They're like, they're like, oh, Married with Children, that's too, vulgar. Here, watch Ren and Stimpy, Tyler. I'm not kidding.
Even when they were whacking in Anderson's camper?
I'm not.
Are you the boys who are whacking off in my shed?
Whacking off in my butane. No, but, so I never seen an episode up until, 3 years ago when I saw the joke they did in the show Futurama with Katie Sagal's character, where out of nowhere she dresses up like Peggy to make nice with this jerk alien called Alzar. Get it? Al. And she just walks out going, Al, I did my hair the way you wanted it. And all of a sudden there's just 2 rat people, I'm not kidding, rat people sit next to them going, woo, yeah, woo, woo, woo. And I'm talking to my friend like, what the heck is this? And they're like, you've never seen the show? He puts on the pilot, and then 3 weeks later, I had watched the entire series.
Wow.
Wow.
With the exception of this episode somehow.
Yeah, so check this out. Tyler told me as he was watching this, he's writing to me saying, I don't remember a single thing about this episode. Now, this is one of the bigger episodes for a fan of the show, so that was just mind-boggling. Nothing clicked with him at all. The foot getting ran over, the shirt, nothing. It was just crazy. So that's an interesting perspective in itself.
I think it's top 5. This was one of those episodes that I probably saw the most before. So it's the exact opposite.
Wow.
Before I really started watching it, getting into it every episode. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is epicness. Yeah.
I feel like this was made specifically for people like, all right, guys, some executives like, okay, guys, we've got a bunch of people that are probably just
Do it in your John Lovitz voice.
Like, all right, you people, we got tons of new sad sacks watching this show now, so we got to give them the real beats, the real hachi machi. Now, break it all up. And action!
And this is it. And it's called The Gas Station Show, Season 6, Episode 23. When Al can't pay his bill at the gas station, he is forced to don a uniform, complete with Habib name tag and work at the station. He spends the day being hounded by motorists, as well as Peg and the kids. Director Jerry Cohen, writer Michael Moy and Ron Levitt. Wow, well that explains a lot of this. You know, they didn't have a contract writer or whatever, and they did it themselves. So,
Which is why I feel it looks so like this is a writer-driven show, like episode. Like we all hitting all the best beats of Married with Children.
Special guest stars: Phil Buckman as Joe, Colby Chester. This guy is a poor man's Phil Hartman.
Right.
Leigh Aries as Betty. I love her. She's from she played that dude's wife in the Jeep. She's from Bloodsport. She's cool. Jeffrey Roth is Jim Jr. Marissa Theodore as Betty Jr. Andrea Leith as Stacy. Peggy Trentini as Ula. Heather Elizabeth Parkhurst. Now we know her. We've heard this name plenty of times as Hilgar. She was another one of these ladies. And Anna Keller is Karen. Now Elizabeth, she was Flopsy. Remember Flopsy with Weenie Tot episode?
Yeah. Which means she was also, because before she was Flopsy, she was somebody else, wasn't she?
Almond in Route 666 Part 2.
She had one of the food names.
Right, yeah. Well, let's start off. Now, Tyler is going to have a big highlight segment on our show right off the bat. Because we start this show off with Al Bundy watching Shenandoah, the Jimmy Stewart movie.
We're in trouble. Daddy's watching Shenandoah.
No, not the one where Jimmy Stewart beats all odds to preserve his family.
You know when they crank up the theme song, Dad's gonna blow like a geyser.
Oh, we're doomed. He's gonna want to spend time with us now. Come on, kids.
You know, we heard this stuff with Hondo before. You know, he watched Psycho Dad before. But now it's a real movie, and it's an emotional one. And guess who did the research to find out exactly what's going on here?
Yeah. So I watched Shenandoah last night at like midnight.
Really?
Yep. I downloaded it and watched it. It's available in like 7 different streaming sites for like $2 stuff. But there are other places you can find it for less than that.
Was it worth the watch?
It was. I love Jimmy Stewart. I think he's one of the greatest actors of all time. And
Mary! Look, everyone give me money so I won't kill myself.
like,
Merry Christmas, movie house.
I feel so much pressure to do a Jimmy Stewart now.
Yeah, come on, Dan. Where's your line?
Like
Clarence!
No, that's Don Knotts.
Like if there are any younger audience members listening to this and who remember the movie American Tail 5 Goes West.
I remember that.
Of course.
Well, that was Jimmy Stewart's last voice acting or / acting role ever. He died a year after making that. He was Wild Earp, the dog who teaches Tiger how to be a dog.
Oh, wow. Tyler, you should be
like
teaching the youth of America.
You smell like a dog. You gotta bark like a dog. Bark! Bark, you jerk. But no, like, I love Jimmy Stewart. I have the Jimmy Stewart, like, box collection. Yes, I do.
Wow.
And it's got all the favorite hits. Shenandoah is not on there, and I don't know why.
Ooh, does it have Winchester 73?
Yes, it does.
That's one of my favorite Jimmy Stewart's. I love Jimmy
FBI.
Stewart, and I also love Westerns.
Put them together, and boom. Well, this isn't really a Western. I thought it was. You hear a name like Shenandoah. It's really amazing. You look at it, you think it's going to be like a Western. If Al Bundy's watching, you think it's totally going to be like a Hondo type deal or a John Wayne thing. No, it's literally about a man who has like 50,000 kids, all of them in their 30s, on a farm in Virginia during the Civil War. And it has comments on slavery, nationalism. Like, this is a movie that people who didn't grow up in America would have to do their research to understand, because they do not do any exposition about the Civil War, what's happening. You just got Confederate soldiers walking around doing crap. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I know what scene Al is watching in the episode.
Oh, God.
He starts doing that Al crying
You
thing.
wussy.
I actually did something I never have done at watching a movie ever. I openly cried while watching Shenandoah.
You've never done that before?
I
ever?
have never. I've felt the urge, like you feel like your chest swell up during a very intense emotional scene in a movie.
Oh, yeah, like in Ghost.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, tell us, did you cry when Al did during that theme song at the end?
Absolutely, like that.
Wow.
I cried beforehand, and then I stopped because the movie just like took a complete turn, and then I looked at how much more time is left? Probably 20 minutes? 3? Oh crap! And then I go back to it, and I'm like, then the theme starts playing, and then the climax happens, and it gets me again, and I start blubbering again, and I'm just like, if my family walked in right now, I would be doing what Al was doing, like pointing at the TV, pointing at them, and like, you know what's gonna happen now. Come here.
Family meeting. Well, tell us the truth. Is it more emotional when you watch that part of the movie or coming on here with us?
Oh, coming out here with you guys.
Oh, he's gonna openly cry. This is a movie that nobody ever talks about. You don't ever hear anyone bring it up, but I really do think it's worth a watch. And
I thought they made it up for the episode. I didn't know this was a real movie. Shenandoah. And I'm like, oh, dang, it's some
I think
dumb,
every time you guys are talking about Sharon Doherty. Every time I'm like, is this a special?
Oh, she's amazing on BH 90210.
I know, I've been watching.
It's good.
God, that movie makes you think. Family meeting. Family, comes a time in the life of every man.
Can we just skip through the speech, Al, and get straight to the punishment that you will inflict upon us for being your family? What is it this time, honey? You gonna get out the horseshoe set? Boys against the girls bocce? Oh no, Al. Not the boo-hoo with you-know-who at the zoo.
No, Peg, because we're no longer allowed in the zoo. Thanks to young Mr. Bundy, who answered the question, what happens when you feed a panda Pop Rocks?
Now, doesn't that sound like a great... It's almost like when I fed the ducks, Vicodins.
Oh, you know what you should have gave him? You should have given him those snap crackle things, like those firework things you throw on the ground, they make the snap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I hear Bud did this, doesn't that kind of make you guys curious? Don't you just want to, put Pop Rocks on a wadded up piece of bread and, chuck them over the gates into these animals' areas and just see what happens?
You're giving a bunch of sociopaths out there some really awful ideas. Don't do that.
Right. I'm
People
emailing
out there,
PETA.
They're doing it right now.
Don't do it. And it won't make their stomachs explode unless you give them pop.
Right.
Look at Jamie
yeah.
giving you the whole formula. Don't do it, guys. But if you do, you're going to need pop.
Which was proved by Joshua Jackson
In Urban Legend. That's right.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Mikey
so
likes
good.
it.
And I wasn't the one pointing at the leopard yelling, "How many animals died for that coat?"
That was so good.
That was really good. That was like a kind of a subtle joke that sort of slid in under the radar, but it was really, really funny.
That also fits into what you were saying about the writers as well, because this really does feel like an all hands on deck. Like they were just having so much fun with it. They were like, okay, where can we take them next? And within the context of everything that happened, it just felt like they were firing on all cylinders from the jump. From that joke in particular, too, it just fits in perfectly.
This is one of those rare episodes, I think, where every single joke might have worked. I mean, there might have been some that were just, let's just say, grade levels. Like most of them were A's. They might have snuck in a B minus. Then the way they present the next joke, at least I didn't moon the monkeys. You think Kelly's talking to Bud, and then they all look at Peg and she hangs her head in shame.
You could see that she was smiling too while she had her head.
Yes.
Monkeys.
Yeah, she was. So Katie Seagal was trying not to laugh.
Yeah, you could see it on her face. Like even though her head was down, you could see her smiling, and I thought that was kind of funny because she's just over there. But that was a good one, yeah, because you assume that's a Bud joke. Mm-hmm. And nope, that was Peggy. That's awesome. And then Bud's like, well, at least I didn't turn her in.
What do you guys think about that? Because, we talk about like when the audience claps sometimes and how like, it either throws them off or it kind of works for them. How do you feel when something like that happens where like, like they do it all the time on Saturday Night Live, right? Do you guys like that kind of style where they kind of break character and just start laughing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And do you like the fact that they keep that in the show, too?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It changes everything about the show. I feel like I'm part of that audience.
Right.
It doesn't bother me at all. There is a show on right now. It's a competition show called Bring the Funny with comedians.
Yep.
And there was a comedian who performed a few weeks ago. Kenan Thompson is one of the judges.
Oh, no.
And Jeff Foxworthy and Chrissy Teigen are the judges. And
wow.
There was a guy who performed the other day, and he was laughing like through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And this is what killed me. Kenan Thompson called him out for it. And
really?
said, it's just not funny when you laugh at your own jokes. And I'm like, dude, have you watched your episodes of Saturday Night Live? Because that's
like
all.
Everyone.
He laughs through every skit he's ever done. And now he's going to call out this guy for being, like an amateur comedian and doing it.
At least I didn't ask the girl chimp to my prom.
Hey, and that was a hot chimp.
What?
Maybe it was one of those chimps from the end of the other episode where they were all dolled up wearing wigs and
the Kelly one.
I mean, Bud's tired of his blow-up dolls. He wants something that can touch him back, like hug him back.
They are wearing thin.
You give them some Pop Rocks. You never know.
Now, kids, hold it. Hey, now I think we're missing the point of Shenandoah. Families are meant to be together.
Well, we don't want to be together.
You have no choice. I dedicate today as Bundy's Sunday Funday.
And so it ends.
Now, here's the plan. We're going to take a Sunday drive.
In the Dodge?
Just for that, you ride in the back seat with your mother. Now, anyone else have any problems with the Dodge?
I have somewhat of a question for you guys, though, just this setup altogether, right? So he's inspired by watching the Jimmy Stewart movie, right? But this is not indicative of Al. It's the opposite. It's always, the family clamoring for Al's affection, right? In this instance, it's that, right, exactly. But it's the opposite. Because obviously, Al's all for it. They are so all against it at all costs. Like, don't you think? Absolutely.
If you walked home and your dad's like, "Son, come here. We are going to have a family outing today in the car." now. Like,
Right, and that's not really what they want. Well, this always happens to Al. Remember when they went to the beach because he watched that commercial or something? He's like, or he said, "Let's be like that 8 is enough family."
Right.
And that's how television seems to get him emotional.
Right.
Once it triggers this, so this is very in character of Al. You know, like this is great because we all know that's Al. That's what he does.
You know what? I think you guys nailed it, though. And when Tyler also said that they just want money, you're right. I'm mistaken the affection for them just wanting stuff from him. So you're absolutely right. Like, they never really love him. They just want something from him. But I guess I was thinking, like, in some instance, it'd be nice if, like, you know, they cut him some slack and, like, did something that wasn't directly related to them getting something. But we're talking about the Bundys here.
Yeah, but there's levels of how they do that, too.
Right.
Like, one of the best scenes ever in this entire series, in this entire show, is Al's staycation that he, like, barricades himself off, and they're just... But Peggy, who will do whatever, will steal anything from him, will turn him into the authorities, is just like... I can't do anything about this.
Right. The couch is, yeah.
She respects the doggy gate or whatever that is.
Right. You know, they know the level. If we don't give him this, he's going to murder us in our sleep.
Yes.
He'll run amok.
Right.
And I'm not going to tell you now, but I have a special surprise in mind.
You got a bumper sticker that says my other car is my feet?
You used your finger to make a really cool racing stripe in the dirt on the side of the car?
You got a new 8-track of Hotel California? We can crank it as we're towed down the freeway?
Don't make me kill you on Family Day. Now I say we all put on our finest clothes.
We're in them.
Pack ourselves some victuals.
We have none.
And pile in the car for a day of fun, a day of family, a day of love.
The next scene is you see Al, Peg, and Bud. They have to push Al's car to the gas station. Now, clearly, we come to find that, well, okay, it depends how far you want to take this future joke, which I love, but it's a joke. They're not pushing it because they ran out of gas. You know? That's not why they're pushing this car.
Really?
No, it couldn't be. Listen, I love the joke that's coming up, but there's no way a guy flicking his finger towards the gas tank is going to fill this car up. You know what I mean? Like,
there's also no way to push a car with a brake on.
Gas in it. Oh my god!
And they drive away, so there's no way on earth that's why they're pushing it. So basically, this car just broke down. Like, remember the episode where the kids were like, "Yeah, me and my friend saw you pushing the car along the freeway." He goes, "Did it ever occur to you to come out and help, Dad?" And he was like, "Wow, it's hot out."
My other car is my feet. Like,
so that's all that's happening here. The Dodge just doesn't work again. That's all.
Al, did you notice when the gas station price signs of how much money it was? $1.30, $1.13 a gallon.
Oh.
I remember when gas was 89 cents a gallon.
Oh, wait, did they actually have the coin slots so you could put it in there?
No.
I remember when a dime bag cost a dime.
But I actually remember when it was cheaper than that. But that is when I started driving. It was 89 cents a gallon.
And then it just went skyrocketed. Oh,
and then it
was
was
the road.
insane.
I started at like $1.10.
Back when you give somebody $5 for gas money, and that was actually okay. Like, it was like, here, I'll give you gas money if you take me to wherever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You throw them a $5.
You're like, you just filled half my tank.
Yeah.
I started driving. Jamie, you'll remember this. Michigan went through a weird thing where gas dropped to like $1.50 or something in like 2008, 2009. Wow. It was insane. I remember buying my used car. It had like, it was just above the E for gas. And I went right to the Speedway right next door. I gave the guy a 20, filled my tank, and got like a $1.50 back in change.
Wow. Now 60 doesn't fill my tank.
Yeah, like you need at least 40 for me. Like, but no, I did the because like I'm a nerd. I watch a lot of like 70s, 60s shows and stuff, and I love when people bring up prices and stuff. They're like, what? You owe me 75 cents for that pizza, and I'm like, oh crap! I gotta look this up. So I have this inflation thing on my phone.
Jamie could do it for you.
Yeah.
She does it for you, though. I was like, I have my app for that.
Do you go behind and check my numbers when you're listening to the show?
Oh, no. I trust you. My app.
That's a bad idea.
My app is actually your voice telling me the numbers. I don't know how it happens.
Like, how much was a chocolate shake in 74? Jamie?
I do side gigs. I do side voice work gigs, so that wouldn't surprise me. If you ever get on public transit,
that's your voice in the subway.
Only in Lincoln, Nebraska.
That I can barely hear over the intercom. No, but no, I was looking at the price, and I looked up the episode air date. It's 93. I was a little pudgy 3-year-old baby, and I looked it up. So 93. I'm doing it right now. $1.30. It is.
This is taking way too long.
$2.29 a gallon if you adjust for inflation. So gas sucked in Chicago for decades.
Wow. that's high for that. Wow.
That's what.
64 bottles of beer on the wall. 64 bottles of beer. One of them bottles.
You stink, Al.
Why isn't Kelly pushing?
Drop dead, you little duty.
Shut up, the lot of you. Now, this is Bundy Sunday Funday. I'll not have you ruin it for me. Pumpkin, you put the car in park, honey.
Oh, I already did that before you started pushing.
All right. I'm fine.
Come on, Al. Now, look. When this car ran out of gas, you promised that if we helped you push, you'd let us in on this big surprise that you have for us. So what is it, Al? Tell us. Are you dying?
No. But if you were the least bit observant, you'd see what the surprise is.
Oh, my God. I see it. I see it. Oh, Al, can this be true?
'Tis. After years of living like paupers, the Bundys are going to do what the Rockefellers are doing. We're going to get our gas today from the full-serve pump.
Oh!
Like, is this the stupidest thing you ever heard?
Well, they seem to be excited about it.
They're still excited after pushing the car.
Jamie, is there a full-service station in this state? I feel like you would get shot if you asked in Michigan for that. Like,
I don't recall ever seeing one. No, I used to use one in Georgia, and like in New Jersey, it's illegal to pump your own gas. So
yeah, you'll blow yourself up.
You have to have. So Alex is over there going, "What are you guys talking about?"
Wow, you losers pump your own gas?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I just sit there, man.
Do you make your wife pump your gas?
Nobody does it. We have a jockey.
No, nobody does. He lives in New Jersey.
You got a jockey. You got a jockey in the back of your trunk.
We have Joe do it. With the long hair.
The first time Alex pumps gas, he's like, "Diesel? Well, I like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's Diesel. Yeah, I'll pick that one."
I use the green pump. Green means healthy, right? Green means
go
green.
Have you ever pumped your own gas?
Me, yeah.
Okay,
good.
Well, I do it every day, though. At work, we pump our own gas for like.
Okay.
We drive our vehicles like to the back of the whole yard there, and then there's a gas station or a pump.
Do you hold the nozzle, or do you flick the thing with your finger to hold it?
Ours do not stay when you flick the thing, so you got to stand there every time.
Same here. Like the weak gas stations in this states are so disgusting. They don't replace the handles for anything.
So, so full service is a thing, yeah. So a lot of people from Jersey and Oregon probably listen to this show.
Connecticut.
There, you have gas jockeys. See, that's the weird thing, though, because full service. So even in states where you have to pump your own gas, there was a guy who would do it for you only at the full service, I guess?
Yeah.
Yes,
you
it's a whole separate pump area that you pull up. You pull up. Most of them have a thing that dings when you drive over it.
Right.
You lower your window down, and then someone comes out and they ask you. I've been to one fairly recently in Connecticut, and it's just they'll ask full, part, or quick. Quick means just a quick fill up and let me go. Semi means check the air pressure in the tires. Stuff that can be done while the gas is actually being pumped. Full service. They will take the hood off your car. I love it. They will check under the hood. When he was right, you're 4.5 quarts empty.
It's not
out
too
of the
much.
5 quarts. If you want me to fill that up for you, they will pour the oil in there. They will fix minor repairs because it's a mechanic who's doing it. You got to pay for all of this, but it's you don't have to get out of your car. That's the main thing.
Well, and also we have them in Massachusetts as well, but with the
Massachusetts
as well, and you can they have like a little station in the middle of the gas pumps as well where they sell cigarettes out of as well. So a lot of times you go up, buy gas, and get smokes at the same time, and they come right to you. Same thing, full service.
They got a woman walking around, cigarettes,
on skates, on roller skates with selling fries, but you can do that. But see, one of the main things though is like kind of a glitch with as much as we've progressed with technology, it's these little things that get you. So when they're doing that and you put $20 in or whatever, it takes a pretty decent amount of time to fill up your tank, but it's not even half the amount of time as that last dollar.
Oh, yeah, it slows down so they don't give you a dime over, yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, that's so annoying.
So
it's actually a fail-safe so the pumps don't explode, by the way, so just letting you know. There is a reason.
I'll take that risk, Tyler. I don't want to wait 10 hours for at that point, I'll take the 1950. This is taking way too long. I got a movie to watch here. But
you know how every gas station has that one slow pump and you pull into your gas station and you're like, please.
Or if somebody else is pumping gas on the other side and you're using the same pressurized pump, and it's just like, oh God, this guy's filling up a Hummer.
I'm never getting out of here. But you pull up and you're like, please, give me the fast one. And no,
that's the only one left.
Oh man, full service during the winter in Michigan. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be the best because I hate it. And plus,
I hate it a lot.
I am cursed.
I hate the winter.
I'm cursed. No, I love the winter. I hate getting out of my car at the gas station. But I also have a lifelong curse with tires, and this is a true story, and I don't know why, but I have always been cursed when it comes to tires. I'm constantly having to put air in my tires. I will buy all brand new tires, and at least one of them will require air.
Jamie, you should just breathe the stuff that's around.
Yeah.
Just get the stone tires. They never
I am forever having to stop by the gas station I go to. You get free air if you get gas.
Buy a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, you get. If you buy gas, then they give you the code for the air machine, and you can get free air. So
they give you the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah. All right, so here's the code now if you want to fill your tires.
Yeah. So. But I'm constantly having to do that. And I hate that in the wintertime because in the wintertime, the air shrinks anyway. Right. And my tires
Not the only thing that shrinks in the wintertime, Jamie.
That stupid low air light is always on in my car.
It went back inside. No.
Oh, God.
Hey, so when Bud summons the attendant, how obnoxious is the way he beeps that horn?
Now, who wants to be the one to honk the horn to summon the attendant?
I want to do it.
All right, now, how does a father choose? Let the boy do it.
Al, isn't that a little obnoxious?
Hey, Peg, we're paying 25 cents extra for a gallon. He'll take it and like it.
And Peg actually calls him out on it, which I was like, hey, good for her. She's usually the obnoxious one.
Right. She's calling other people out for being obnoxious.
Peg knows all about full and self-service. So.
Oh, wow, nice. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go with a joke like that in this episode. But at least you did it for our show.
Come on, you rummy. Fully serve us.
What can I do for you, folks?
We'll have $2 worth of regular.
This guy, this gas attendant, Joe, he is awesome. This guy,
Not a chest hair on him. Oh.
Phil Buckman is his name, and
I called him Equate Anthony Kiedis.
Yes.
I thought he was the cousin of Mongo.
whoa!
Like, I love that. I got a brother named Mongo.
I got a brother named Joe. This guy, his hair is phenomenal. I mean, I'm sorry.
It's gorgeous.
Kind of weird to say, but
You know, he cut it off. He cut it off in the mid-90s.
right in the mid-90s, because he was on 90210. There was an episode, a whole thing where David manages, because he got into the music business, and the first band he signed was these guys. It was him and his friends, this guy, the gas station guy, and they had all these, like, racial, like, anti-Jewish, I think anti-black, maybe, like, little, like, peppered lyrics in there that it's mostly sounds like screaming, but then you start reading the lyrics, and it was a whole thing.
He's like, wait a minute.
And David's Jewish, by the way. This guy was on that episode, and he already had short hair, and it was only 1996, so can you imagine having this hair in 92, and within 4 years it's gone?
He was also one of the lead characters in An American Werewolf in Paris.
That's what he's from.
Yeah.
Yo.
And he did
His
a
gates
guest.
just opened up.
He did a guest spot on the first time I ever saw him, and I thought he was Anthony Kiedis. I totally did. The first time I ever saw him, he was on Frasier, and
What?
the whole
What
through the
was he
whole
on Frasier doing?
he just had a guest, like a guest spot as some. I think he was a kid who was interning in the radio station or something like that.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the whole time I thought it was Anthony Kiedis. And it was way later when I learned that nope, different guy. And then I kept seeing him, and then he was in American Werewolf in Paris,
Which you can check out on Liking It.
That's right, you can on the latest episode of Liking It.
You knew you were going to drop that episode and people would just be like, oh, snap. That lineup is fire on that episode.
It is so funny
Good
because so many people are like, what?
Are they liking it?
Yeah, I'm getting some really good feedback.
Right on.
Go.
People are excited that it's back, and so am I.
Everybody is.
He's known as, there's websites like Celebrity Twins, and it's him and Anthony Kiedis. So, like, he even had, remember when Anthony Kiedis went through that, like, emo hair phase, where he had that, like, it was long hair, but you know what I mean, right? Yeah, that emo type hair. This guy had that during, I think Frasier, the Frasier period, or the Drexel's. He was on Drexel's class too. And this guy had that emo hair. It's almost like he was trying to look like Anthony Kiedis in a weird way.
Wait, so what's his name again?
Phil Buckman.
Phil. God, I love that name. Phil Buckman.
Phil Buckner.
Phil Buckner? Is it Buckner or
Buckman.
Buckman?
Dan's just messing with me.
Oh, okay. Phil Buckman. That just sounds like somebody I would hang out with. Like, hey, Phil! Hey, Buckman, get over here. Like, just,
He's 10 years older than me. He was born in 1969.
Whoa!
Nice!
So how old is he in this episode?
No, I'm
then?
looking at pictures of him. That's why I'm saying it. I'm like, am I going to look like that in 10 years?
No, I mean, nice that he was born in 1969.
But no, like, I love this dude because he looks like he just looks like some actor who had like the world's biggest edible and then went on and shot this episode because he is just not caring, and I love it. And
I love his reactions to all this demeaning stuff too. Like you gotta admire it in a way where it could actually guide your life in a way, because it's almost like we should treat everyone like that. Like, there are such obnoxious people who try to bring you down in life, and this guy is just not fazed. And it's almost like, man, I really should do this.
Where's that full service smile? hey, we don't have the money, and he's just like, hee hee hee.
Right. Like, I kind of his whole thing here is really a great model for life. Oddly enough.
Yeah, eat a huge edible every single day before you start your life, and just go for it.
Yeah, I feel like people that know truly what their actual job is and what impact that has on society, when you have it into perspective, then you can just kind of go on with your life and you're happier that way. When you take your job too seriously and get frustrated at stupid stuff, like, and just get all out of whack, like, I think like that's the goal, is to always be as calm as like the full
Joe.
service gas station attendant.
Like if you work in the food industry and somebody comes in and asks you to feed them, Jamie, you just got. Oh, I think about that every day now because I'm in the food service, and just be like, "Can I buy a pizza? And could you feed me that pizza slice, please?"
Can you feed it to me?
Oh God! But Jamie didn't let that bring her down. She just like, "How much extra you want?"
She takes a big sigh. Here comes the airplane.
You want the airplane noise?
I'm like, well,
the airplane noises.
That's going to require a bigger tip.
Right?
You know that,
Here's
right?
a tip. Go back to college. Now feed me.
Ouch!
Yeah, but what I like about Joe is that he doesn't let his job define him. Like, you know, normally a gas station jockey or whatever would be looked down upon, I guess, in society or whatever. And that's how they're looking. And believe it, a shoe salesman is treating this guy like this. That's the funniest part.
He didn't even make fun of the car. He just casually takes that hood off like it's no big deal. And he's like, "Oh, your engine box cracked. This engine part hasn't been made in 50 years. Hear that? You want me to fix it?"
He was impressed that it was holding up under all the duty.
Yeah.
Right?
Come on, you rummy. Fully serve us.
What can I do for you, folks?
We'll have $2 worth of regular.
Joe removes this rag that Al has in place of a gas cap.
I love that. I was like, what happened to the car on their way there that they had to do that? I'm like, oh, that's just a gas cap.
So Joe touches the end of the nozzle and flicks a drop of gas into Al's tank to try to say that's what you get for $2.
There'll be anything else, sir?
Yes, there will be.
Now listen, that's probably the greatest joke on earth, and it really does. It's a statement to the gas, you know, the oil companies, all this stuff. It's really amazing.
That was good.
I walked into a McDonald's once, and I was such a jerk, and I was like, what can I get for a quarter? And I put the quarter on the counter. The guy turned around, grabbed a French fry, and put it on the counter.
Perfect.
And I was like, deal.
But wait, here's the only flaw in this perfection of a joke. There's a flaw in perfection. The gas, like you said, Tyler, was like, what, $1.19 or whatever? So
Yeah.
Al could have got basically like a gallon and a half of gas. Not a drop.
Check under the hood. Peg, look at that. It's the first time I told somebody to do something, he's actually doing it.
Yes, honey. It's also the first time you've had $2.
The guy, like you said, lifts the hood and it comes off entirely, and he sets it on the side of the car.
Didn't it sound like plastic to you? Did you hear that?
Like,
When he pulled it off and set it down, it sounded like plastic.
Oh, don't you love the sarcasm in this show? It is amazing.
Down 4 quarts of oil. Want me to put it in?
Hey, how many paychecks do you think I get in a week, buddy? No, just check something else.
out of the 5 you need for every car.
And he says, how many paychecks do you think I make in a week, buddy? And you know what? I get in a week. And I have used that line so many times for some dumb reason. I'm like, hey, how many paychecks do you think I get in a week, buddy?
That's so great. Like, you think I can afford to eat? What the heck?
Yeah, like when they say something simple, I'll still say, how many paychecks do you think I get? Like, it's really not a lot of money. What do you mean?
Oh, Al, I gotta ask. What do you guys think about this set?
Oh, yeah. It looks great.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you look in the background while they're standing there, you can see some dude in the back moving around at a register. So I'm like, is this in front of an actual, like, convenience store? And did they just set up a bunch of, like, things to make it look like there was a gas station? Yeah, like, because I'm like, there's, like, some extra detail in the background that just made it look more realistic.
I didn't even notice that. That's great.
And you just see some hands moving around. Like,
I didn't even think of, I guess the lighting didn't look authentic, like sunlight or anything. So I guess it definitely was still in a studio, right? I mean, did you guys get that sunlight feeling out of this or no?
No, I mean, you're right. I think
it was just that they had a guy with
that's
windows
cool.
that you could see in the background. Like, they could have literally just put a cardboard cutout of the Quickie Mart in the background, and my brain would have filled in the rest.
Right.
But no, like, they put dimension into it. I like it.
Yeah, and I typically notice stuff like that, and I like it. I was watching a Western the other day, and they were having they were having a conversation inside a saloon. But if you looked through the window outside the saloon,
Some guys
you could
puking in the bushes.
No, you could see two guys standing off to the side a little bit, having a conversation that had nothing to do with what was going on inside, and it didn't matter. But it was just a little touch that they put two guys outside, just chatting.
Yeah, they were stage hands, like, get out of the shot.
Those two guys were talking about that podcast, Cut to the Chase. Really good.
Yeah.
They're like, when is that next episode coming out?
They are killing it this year.
Well, your engine block is cracked.
Like, that's like a major problem, man. If your engine block is...
That made my heart, like, skip a beat. I've had bad car problems. I've seized up an engine before, and you're like, all right, I guess I'm getting a new car now. Because, like, it's just, no wonder they're pushing it.
Oh, God, your engine block is cracked? Are you serious?
That car's not starting. Like,
right.
It's starting, it's not starting, or it's catching fire immediately.
So, I think I've told this story to you guys before. I don't know if I've ever told it, like...
To Tyler?
On air to Tyler, yeah.
I definitely never heard this story, Dan.
Okay, all right. So I think it was my second car, and I was young and I was stupid, and I'll never make this mistake again.
As opposed to now, when you're older and smarter.
I'm just a lot older, a lot balder, and a lot stupider. Any one of my co-hosts can attest to that. But no, that literally happened. My engine seized up because I didn't put enough oil in. Like, it turns out that I had a leak. I was just unaware that I had the leak. So I was just going, and people told me, like...
No warning.
No.
It happens out of nowhere.
And like, I deserved it, though, because it was one of those things where...
No, you didn't.
One day I put it in, and then the next week I checked it, and it was literally down, like you said, like 4 of the 5 quarts. So I was like, something's wrong here. Oh, well, I'll fix it later. Like, and it was one of those things where I was just young and I put it off. Engine seized, that was it.
Was it a nice car?
No. That just happened. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Was it, Dan? Was it nice?
Was it a nice
car?
It
was a truck. It was a F-150.
Ooh, found on the road dead, huh?
Yeah.
Vehicle.
But actually, I ended up selling it for a pretty decent amount to a guy who fixed them up, so it was all worth it.
I have like random catastrophic things happen. I've had a timing belt break, actually a timing chain.
You should have used nylons.
A timing chain?
Chain, yeah, which that's it. It was over. I was driving down through downtown Atlanta. I had just gone on the Walking Dead tour, and I was driving through downtown Atlanta on the way back up to Athens, and I'm on 75 North in the middle of downtown, and I threw a rod. And
you threw a rock?
A rod.
Oh, I just pictured you driving down Atlanta throwing rocks out of your window.
No.
You threw a rock and hit a police car.
my car threw a rod, which can actually, like, there have been all the time, like, it'll like come right through the hood. It never did that. It didn't do that to me. But anyway, I threw a rod. I'm on the side of the road waiting for a tow truck. It was the middle of the summer, and I had to wait 2 hours for a tow truck on a Saturday, and then I had to get towed all the way back to Athens, and that's it. That car's dead. I mean, there was nothing to do with it. So
I'm
that's
sorry.
why I bought my new car.
I'm sorry, Jamie. I am not laughing at the idea of you being towed. That's terrible. I hate that happened to me. I'm just laughing at you just like at a red light going do, and then like start accelerating, and all of a sudden
The rod comes through your hood.
Something shoots out of your hood.
That's great. She thinks it's like the alien popping out of her stomach.
Oh my God. As far as me getting towed, I used to get towed all the time. I had this BMW. It was an 83 BMW, and I loved this car so much. I kept pouring money into it because I love the car. But at one point, I couldn't make left-hand turns because it would die.
She could only drive clockwise.
I got towed so many times while I was driving that car that the tow truck guy knew me. And so he was like,
God, it's Jamie. All right.
He kept picking me up, and he's like, again? And I'm like, yeah.
Did you have like a punch card, like after you have so many toes?
I should
get,
have.
like, a
No,
free
but I had
oil change or something?
I had AAA.
They actually stopped fixing it. He just towed her around everywhere she wanted to go from now on. She sat in her
the
car.
first Uber driver.
He's like, Jamie, do you just want a ride? Like, I'll come pick you up.
He's like, you don't have to come up with this elaborate scheme with the car.
So Bud wants to get in on the act, and he's way more obnoxious about this than Al is. Like, Al really, if you look back, Al's really not doing anything super disrespectful to Joe. And Bud is like, can I boss the geek around now?
You got a pair of nylons for a fan belt.
Those are my good black ones.
Hey, what do you want to do? You want to look good walking or look good riding?
Hey, Dad, can I order the geek around too?
Hey, marry your own.
I was talking about the gas jockey, Dad.
But I said it was Bundy Family Day, didn't I? Of course you can.
Okay, Goober.
What is that?
Because Goober Pyle was a gas station attendant on the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, okay. So I'm not a grandfather.
That was a reference.
He says to the guy, check the tires, there might be a shiny nickel in it for you. Now, what do you guys think of this? Because the whole basis of the Bundys in general is that they're the lowlives of the world, and the humor is that they're the down and outs. So, and I know we did, like when Al and Peg were on the airplane, and the first chance they get to be out of that loser thing, like in coach, and when they're in first class, and then they like disparage all the people sitting in coach, and it goes, wow, it's a lot of room up here.
Oh, that's totally fine. If they had been mean to the flight attendants, service people, that's what would have got me mad. Oh, flout your like your success to people who don't have it. I'm fine with that. They get it if you have it.
Well,
but
the second they get it, that's funny though. But the thing is, here it's like, yeah, but you're still losers, and you're just going to a gas station and spending $2.
Like they should be getting along with these guys. Like this is a big deal for me. Like I never get the full service. This is an event here. Those are people I would be happy to service if I was Joe.
Check the tires and there might be a shiny nickel in it for you.
I don't have a nickel.
Yeah, you're pretty low, sir. You want some air?
Oh, no, thanks. We'll just breathe the stuff that's around.
So I think Joe's had enough, and he finally takes jabs back, because Al says, you know what really bugs me, Joe? And he goes, the color of your car?
Oh, so good. Just like...
Like, Al has literally like a light rust color dye.
It's gorgeous.
Who would ever have, like, when's the last time you've seen somebody driving around in that color of a car?
Thank you.
Hey, Mom, look. There's a lady putting gas in her own car.
You know, she can't hear us laughing from here. Let's go over there.
Okay.
Go ahead, lady. Save 25 cents.
You know, Joe, what really makes me mad?
Am I having a car this color?
It's all those damn Japanese imports. You know, after seeing a bunch of those clunkers, you don't mind putting a little elbow grease in one of these fine American products, huh?
Complains about Japanese imports. And it's just like an eye roller at this point. It's like, all right, dude, who cares? You know, it's funny. We're so far removed. Like, Dan, do you ever have conversations with people like that? Like, you care?
No, I usually just like give them a long little stare and just try to think of ways to get out of the conversation without being rude.
Oh, you mean those cars that run really, really well? Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
for me, it happens with politics a lot, right? Like, it'll sneak up on you. You'll be having just a mindless conversation about, like, Avengers Endgame, and then somebody will start talking politics, and then all of a sudden it's like,
please.
Oh, God, here we go.
Isn't it great when Thor and Captain America fight? Oh, and yeah, by the way, Jews. What do you think about that?
Right. Yeah, like, it gets real so quick, and you're just like, wait, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, I hate that old school mentality of complain. Like, Al, that's what he does. He complains about the French, like these weird things that it's you just don't care anymore. I think the world has evolved in a way where and I'm not super young. I mean, by the time the show comes out, I'm 40 years old. Yeah, at the same time though, I don't have the mentality to care about things like that. Like, I don't care about imported. I mean, maybe the most thing I'll make fun of, a slight goof, if a buddy of mine is riding around on a Yamaha motorcycle and everybody else has Harleys. I mean, then we'll do a joke, I guess. But even then, I'm not even that passionate. Like, he could still ride with us. I don't really care. So it's
right.
I do love Al's French jokes because I think you've noticed. It's funny that you pointed that out, that the Japanese thing is gone, because there was a time where we were worried that the Japanese people are just taking over all of our products. Buy American.
That's all we thought. Yeah, buy American, right.
But the one country, the one ethnicity that we can make fun of in this country without any fear of repercussion is the French.
I guess.
Always.
Right.
Through every generation.
Through every generation, it doesn't matter. You could always say French.
Simpsons was getting in trouble for making references to
the bullfrog.
No. Jewish people. They made they said shiksa or something, and the Jewish community. Yeah, the Jewish community got upset. They're like, that's actually Hebrew for shit. And then they're like, you can't really say that on there.
No, the Married with Children did. Me and the shiksa. Remember what Kelly Does Hollywood? All those posters.
Married with Children could get away with more than the Simpsons could. But but they were getting notes about tone it down, and then Willie just out of nowhere is the French teacher going, "Buongiorno, you cheese-eating surrender monkeys." And I'm like, oh, okay, you can just say that. All right. And no one gives a crap. It's the French.
Nah, nobody cares, because the French really don't live around here, and nobody goes there, so... So as Al's complaining about this, he bangs on the hood the roof of it, because he has no hood. He bangs on the roof of the Dodge, and the headlight just pours out of the front of the car, and it's hanging by a wire. Then he walks over with a bumper sticker to put it back, and he talks to Joe as if it's a cool thing to do. And then he says something about how they're built, and then Joe says Jamie's favorite line.
That's why I always got me a bunch of fine American bumper stickers to show where I'm coming from. Yep, it takes a good American bumper sticker to hold in a headlight, eh, Joe?
Yeah, they sure build them, don't they? I mean, this roof must be plenty strong to hold up under the weight of all that bird duty.
I love the term duty. It's so great,
Duty.
Now, if there's no free services left, I guess I'll be on my way. What's the damage?
$2.
Alrighty. There's one, and there's 110, 120, 121, $2. Gee, Joe, I don't see that smile they advertise that comes with full service.
Al, the guy inside wants $12 for all this stuff.
I don't have $12.
Then it turns out his family walks out of the every gas station now has the convenience store behind it. I guess they even did then. They walk out with sodas, chips, Ho-Hos, Slim Jims. So now
they made me want a slushie so bad while I was watching that.
Yeah, I definitely want to raid a 7-Eleven now. They now owe $12. And then Al doesn't have it. Joe looks at him, gives him the smile, and now Al has to work it off.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Al is like, he's like, okay, it'll be $2. Al gives him the $1, and then he reaches his hand to his pocket. You hear the change jingle. My whole body clenched up because I'm like, oh god, that's a no-tip sound right there.
Dude, he's no-tip Bundy. You know that.
I know, but that's a Foley sound that I remember when I would be getting waiting for someone to hand me the money for a pizza delivery. They're like, so it's $9.50. All right, here's $9, and then he pulls out the change, 25, 35, 40. I'm like, okay, there's going to be no tip here.
Sorry.
I do have a couple of other things about Phil Buckman that I did not know. He was the bass player for Filter until 2013.
Wow.
I did not know that. So he actually is a musician.
Really?
What garage band is that? Filter?
No, Filter's awesome. Hey,
Filter's a great band.
Filter is a great band, and if you want to say they're soft or whatever,
Filter, it's a thing.
It is a thing. They get radio play. They're a real band. It's
not only that,
it's made up.
So I saw them on the Family Values tour when they were around with Limp Bizkit and Korn and all them, and they put on a pretty good show. But at the end, they smashed all their instruments, and I've never seen that happen before, and it was the most amazing thing ever. And they shot the concert was maybe a 7, and it went from that to a 10 instantly just by
Was that prior to 2013?
Yes.
Then you saw him on bass.
Dude, you saw him.
Yes. There you go.
What they were ripping off, right, Dan? Not ripping off. But
every other rock band ever to do that?
No, actually, The Who.
Oh, yeah,
every
absolutely.
other band that does that, they buy those guitars specifically to do it. It's a planned thing. The Who, that was not planned, and they one of the guys smashed his guitar that was apparently his agent was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wanted to buy that for $5 million, and you just destroyed it or something. He's like, oh well, I'll play another one. It'll be just as valuable. It's that was just the thing. So it shocked a lot of people that they treated their instruments like that. So
when they accidentally did that in Hateful Eight.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah, that was so they didn't mean to. Tarantino would never do that. He's got too much respect for things like that. But
I knew that when I started watching that movie that scene was in there, and I kept looking at that guitar and just when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? And then it happened. I'm just oh.
They thought it was the replica that they were smashing, but it was the original.
The sound of those strings ripping and stuff, it was better than any Foley artist could do.
Hey, Dan, when you were at the concert, did you ask him to check your tires?
I did. I got full service. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he is also the voice of the Carl's Jr.'s Hardee's television and radio commercials.
Really?
I didn't know that either. Look at him.
What a career. Way to go.
No, so he was also on Boy Meets World, right? But I was trying to think. It was driving me crazy. That's why I got so excited when, Jamie, you said American World, because that's what I recognize him from. And I couldn't put two and two together. And it was driving me nuts. But so thank you.
He's also from Point Break. Oh, no, wait, that was Anthony Kiedis.
Wait.
That's him.
Oh, no, that actually was Anthony Kiedis. Yeah.
Okay, I'm wait a second. I've seen Point Break. This guy was not on there.
I originally, when I saw that dude, I thought that they were going to set up something with Kelly and him. Like that's why I thought the episode was gonna go, where she was gonna, either flirt with him or whatever.
And everything,
right?
Like, not a hair to be found on that glistening chest. Like, I couldn't believe Kelly wasn't all sniffing around. Like,
wow.
That's what I'm saying. So that's where I thought it was going to go. So, and I thought, like, if you think about it as a plot device, that would have been an easy thing for her to get food too, right?
Right.
Now they need to get the family out of there, though, because this is an Al episode.
Right.
Gee, kids, look how handsome Daddy Habib looks in his uniform. You continue to make us proud, honey.
After Al is forced into indentured servitude to repay the bill at the gas station, he is given work clothes that have the name Habib on them, which would then become a running gag within the show, used many times. One of those times coming up in season 7 with the episode "'Tis Time to Smell the Roses."
Blew my mind that's where this came from. Never made sense to me. like, what's this Habib stuff? When did this first start? I never knew.
Oh, this episode's legendary.
This is an origin story.
Al has to work this off, man. So,
is this a real thing? Like, you hear it being referenced in terms of having to do dishes, right?
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
So is that a real thing? Like, I can't...
Think about it. If you owned a business...
Right. It's such a liability.
That too, right. It's all about insurance now. What if this guy, like, pours gas and it squirts out, and then all of a sudden someone's smoking a cigarette? Yeah.
If you break something, if he broke a pump, you would be billed for that. Like, you would be on a camera and stuff like that. Right. Now, what you could do is be like this. Look, I'm going to either send you the bill, or you can, if you don't have the money and stuff like that, you can come in and you can work it off. But not for actual, you owe money for, like, a popcorn or something like that.
They could call the police, but then they would have to press charges. Like, let's just say, like, remember when Pee-wee didn't have his wallet in Pee-wee's Big Adventure and he had to do the dishes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so they would say, well, dude, you have no money? Like, I guess if you could do the dishes, even though we already have a guy doing them. Like, I don't know why we'd have you do that, but okay. So let's just say he does that. And it's like, he could say, well, no, I'm not doing that. That's, whatever. And he could leave, and you could, I suppose, call the cops. And then, do you want to press charges for the $12 he owes you? And most likely they'll say no.
Right.
I saw that happen in a diner once with this guy. It was like one of the diners that has like the bar where you can sit on it and order a burger and everything. This guy didn't have money for his burger. He just got up. I think he might have been drinking too. He got up and he's just like, "Look, I told you, I got no money, but I was hungry. What are you going to do about it?" And she's like, "Nothing, hold still." And she I kid you not, she took a picture of him and then got a Polaroid out and put it on a wall, on a board, said, "Do not serve to these people."
It's like the Al Bundy thing. Do not accept checks from this man or whatever.
Exactly. I'm like, oh my God. And I immediately went into my pocket to make sure I had enough money because I like this diner.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, they can't really know. I mean, it's like if they're willing to waste time with pressing charges, sure, I guess. But so Joe, turns out, it's going to be the busy time of the day, and his babe shows up, so he's going to the beach. So Al is left there stranded, all alone, working here. Hopefully Joe told him. I mean, he's in Chicago. Al does know how to pump gas, so he should be all right. Doing it himself now, and I guess now if people pull into the full serve, like, I hope Al knows how to change oil or whatever and do windshield wipers and whatever else. Like,
I can't believe they don't let you pump your own gas in New Jersey. Like, have you seen Jersey Shores? Would you trust them with gas? No.
The only time they let you pump your own is if you have a motorcycle. They'll hand you the nozzle.
You're scary. We don't want to pump your gas. We don't know where the gas pump is.
Oh, a big badass biker.
But that's what I have to do. I got to get and go because I'm on the move a lot for work and stuff like that. And I go in these places, and now they have like restaurant like areas in the back. So they make like pizzas.
Are they trucks? Are they like truck stops?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Like slash gas stations. Some are bigger than the others, obviously, but they're literally just everywhere. So they have bigger ones for trucks. They have regular ones or whatever. But all of them like sell straight food now and stuff like that. And I go in them every day, and I realize how as big as those stores are, all they do is fill them with crap. With
That's what
like,
I love about
Hostess and chips, and which is fine.
The sludgiest garbage food out there. Al, that blew my mind when you said I never go in the store. Like, I feel like I know you pretty well, Al, because I've listened to you talk on podcasts for so long, but I'm just like, you've got garbage food lover written all over your face in my mind sometimes.
What?
I'm just like,
That's funny because he's actually
That's
not.
not it at all.
No.
No, I'm not. I never eat garbage food.
He eats very healthy.
Dude, I'm 40 with a six-pack.
man, like,
No, I don't eat that.
the dream is being shattered. The illusion's being shattered right here.
No, Alex is all, Alex is all chicken breasts and
Chicken breast with a side of rice, potato, whatever. You know.
Kale.
Kale. Do you want some more kale, Al? Did I ask for more kale?
Yeah, you asked for extra parsley.
Yeah. No, I don't go that far. But
You ever not eat like a cupcake, like one of those sugary, and then you take a bite, and as soon as you bite it, you can literally feel like the sugar coursing through your veins?
I peel the frosting mostly off of a cupcake. I want the cake. I don't want that sugary crap.
dude, people force me to eat cakes at people's birthdays, and I'm like,
isn't that the worst?
I'm like, I'll take a bite, please. Leave me alone. I don't want this crap.
Alex, I do. That actually makes a lot of sense because recently you did like you destroyed Weight Watchers on one episode because you were like, this is if you're a fat piece of crap, this is how you get skinny. And I'm like, I tried it and I've already started losing some weight. So thank you, Alex.
Told you, man. No problem.
It's all counting calories. Like,
1,400 a day. That's about it.
That's only one cupcake.
You can eat all the garbage food you want as long as you don't go over 1,800 calories. That's for me.
You can have ho-hos all day.
Only two.
I mean, I don't know why people. It's not that. It's real. The math. It's all math. You have to use more calories than you take in. That is really all it boils down to.
Right. Then you can't gain weight. Period.
Yeah.
It boils like a chicken breast.
All right, Jamie, tell us what happens in this. What are we doing? Married Children still?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so after the commercial break, something big happens. What is it?
Yeah, well, when Peg says, "Gee, kids, look how handsome Daddy Habib looks in his uniform," you can clearly see the Darcy's BMW and the Swedish bikini team's blue car behind them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
That would be cool.
Why'd you do it, Peg? Why'd you eat me into debt?
Well, it's your own fault, Al. You take us into full serve, tell us to think like Rockefellers. Of course we're going to go for the ho-hos and the Slim Jims.
Don't worry, Daddy. We're going to go home right now and raise the money to get you out of this financial fox paws.
That's right, Dad. We'll have you back home cursing the day you were born in no time.
Yes, please hurry. Whereas Jimmy Stewart said in that great classic, Shenandoah.
Oh, they must really love you as fast as they headed off.
Yeah, if they really love me, they'd be heading in the direction of my house.
Well, Bundy, we're coming up on a really busy time of day, so
Hey, Joe. I stole my father's car. Want to go to the beach?
So I'm going to the beach.
Well, I don't feel ashamed. I mean, I am a shoe salesman. I did have my family out in public. Thank God this gas station's not in my neighborhood. I mean, the chances of me seeing anyone I know are about...
So Marcie and Jefferson pull in.
Hi, Al.
Yeah. They're about certain.
See, I told you it was him. I could see where you would think it was an orangutan. But I knew I recognized that bald spot when I spotted it from the freeway.
You know, Jefferson, good for you. You decided to take the Miller boy camping. Where's the little woman? Out shopping for some more of those little lacy T-shirts that so drive the men crazy?
I'll have you know, Al, that I happen to like tiny bazooms. I had plenty of women before Marcie, and I swear you get tired of big, succulent breasts. Besides, I don't want a bunch of guys staring at my wife. I mean, that's the good thing about Marcie. No guy ever...
That's quite enough, honey bunch.
They look so cute in this episode. Like, I love Steve so much. Jerry, if you're listening, I am a Steve fan too.
Yes.
But they just have such real chemistry that I've just started noticing as we're doing these later episodes. And just like, I like make myself part of your podcast now. But no,
just for today, pal.
Yeah, it's just it's playtime for me.
I didn't check your ID, by the way, when you first came in. Hold on a second.
I put on headphones when I listen to you guys, and they're not even hooked up to anything. I pretend I'm talking to you. No, but
Sorry to hear that, Tyler.
It's like, why is nobody listening?
I know, got my jollies.
I'm a little afraid for the youth of America.
When you start talking back, I'll seek help. But but they just have so much on-screen chemistry, I think, in real life that just when they like pull up and they're holding on to each other like happy little elves. It's just something that didn't seem so like natural and fluent with Steve and Marcie's characters.
It's very fluid. And,
yes.
and the thing is, listen, I love Steve, but I've moved on.
We all have. We all have.
Oh, you don't have to move on. Like he's an integral part of the show. It's just like two different arcs, and you can love them equally.
Kidding. I'm just saying that to make Jerry's stomach sink, have that sinking feeling.
As we say in Boston, move on.
I'm sucking up to Jerry though. So like,
you really are. You must be one of those like first 60 episodes guy.
Oh, I was. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'll have you know, Al, that I happen to like tiny bazooms. I had plenty of women before Marcie, and I swear you get tired of big, succulent breasts. Besides, I don't want a bunch of guys staring at my wife. I mean, that's the good thing about Marcie. No guy ever...
Oh, my God. When he says the term big, succulent breasts, that's just, I fell out of my chair laughing.
Her face during that entire exchange is priceless. Like, the fact that she's supposed... Like, he thinks he's saying something good. He's so ignorant to the idea that she doesn't want to hear this. But you think you're saying something good because, but I'm saying, but I don't want guys staring at her. Nobody stares at her, so that's good, right? So it is just so ignorant, and it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's classic Jefferson.
Oh, of course.
Perfect episode. Oh, God, you gotta love it. So, Marcie says, fill her up. That's something Al hasn't heard in a while. So, does Al even know where to put the nozzle? That's another thing. So, Peg
Can't find the hole.
So, I guess that does constitute, though, what we said earlier, right? That's the fill her up thing that Peg says. I guess that kind of...
No sex points in this episode.
It's no full service line, per se, but that's close enough, right?
It's a Peg joke through Marcie.
Right, exactly. That's what, yeah. So it happened, but yeah, like not with the person that you thought it was going to happen with, yeah.
And I forgot to mention, like, when Peg and the kids drive off with the car, so it was broken down. They pushed it. They got no gas in it. The guy flicked his finger, and yet they're able to drive away.
And they're also driving away. They're also driving away without their hood. Because he removes the hood to do this stuff, and he puts it next to the car, and then when you see them come out, the hood is nowhere near the car, and they just drive off without it.
Just pick another one up on the side of the road.
Right? There's got to be a rust-colored hood somewhere.
Hey, how about that one over there? It's green. Oh, don't worry. It won't be green forever.
Yeah, it'll get rusty on this car.
Well, Marcie, no need to bucket me. We'll just fill you up. You can be out there on the highway blinding truckers in about a minute. There you go. That'll be $12.
He didn't put any gas in, dear.
I'm going to have to tell your superior.
Jefferson, find me anyone.
And, Al and Jefferson are buddies, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm your buddy, but listen, you're not putting gas in my car.
Like, listen, there are jokes to be made at your expense. I'm sorry, but I'm not your friend for this episode. But see, that's why Jefferson's the greatest, though, because you can still love him, and like you feel like it's not like when he does it too. It doesn't even feel indicative of his personality as a whole. It just feels like, oh yeah, like this is something that he goes in and out of flawlessly. And I think on a real level, like that's what I like about him too, is because they are very versatile with him. Like he goes back and forth. Like 1 minute he's his friend, but Al does the same thing though, so it works. Mm-hmm. Like everybody's everybody's just the worst to each other.
Guess you people are wondering what a man in my position is doing working in a gas station. Huh? I do it to remind me of where I've come from.
So Jefferson guesses why Al is there. Almost. He says, you couldn't pay for your gas, could you? Meanwhile, no. And Al says, yeah, he agrees because he's not going to get into the minutia of, no, well, my family, took food or whatever. He's not going to say all that. It's basically, yeah, sure, I couldn't pay for my gas. That's why I'm working here.
Life hates me.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay for your own gas, could you?
No. Give me $12.
Oh, Al, if all it will take is $12 for you to regain your self-respect and get out of this demeaning position, then ask someone who cares. See you
later, Al. Sorry.
Away, over his foot.
There it goes.
Which is the most ridiculous joke in this episode. For people who still want to have some grounded realism here, if that many cars go over your foot,
you have no foot anymore.
Right. Yeah.
If it's a perfect Ed O'Neill, ow!
Yeah.
Have you ever had your foot run over? Anybody?
Nah.
What? No.
I have before. Surprisingly.
A car?
I lived. Yeah, with a truck. Yeah. With that same truck that seized the engine. Yeah.
You jerk, you're going to seize me up? Well, I'm going to do something to you first.
Exactly.
That was a devil truck.
Wait.
It was.
How did you... Wait.
No, I think I was the devil in that relationship.
But wait. It was you? It was your truck that ran over your foot. How?
No, it wasn't like driving? It was a transformer.
Was it Christine?
Who was driving the car?
My buddy was driving it, and we were at the dump unloading leaves and stuff.
Thanks for the car, Dan. See you.
Well, now the poor man's Phil Hartman pulls up with his family. I'm sorry, that's what he is. You can say what you want. That's what he is. So.
Oh, I got a question for you too, though. Something that we didn't mention earlier. When Al's doing the choking, right? When he goes to
choke Kelly for having the car in park.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's just a Simpsons thing, like a reference?
Ooh, nice, man.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. I totally forgot. I looked that up. That is a Simpsons reference because they were getting a lot of comparison.
Right.
And that was 93. This was around the time where Bart the Strangling was becoming a common thing.
Yeah.
And this was the show. What would it look like in real life? Ew.
If you love Married with Children, you love The Simpsons. If you love The Simpsons, you love Married with Children. That's just how it is.
Well, hello there, Habib. Family, what is the proper way to say hello to a friend from the other hemisphere?
May the prophet smile upon you, Habib.
He already has with this fine job and the blood that flows in my shoe. How may this unworthy one serve you?
Check under the hood. And I say that not to demean you, but to ensure the safety of my family.
Oh, I love you, Jim.
I love you, Betty.
I love you all.
Oh, thank you, Jim Jr.
I love you, Father.
Oh, thank you, Betty Jr.
Yeah, and it is obnoxious. So they're the polar opposites of the Bundys.
Now, family, I have a big surprise for you.
That you pulled in a full serve?
No, son, what kind of a dad would just do that? No, we're going on a picnic. Well, what better way to celebrate another Lundy Sunday Funday?
Like, what are the coincidences that family would also have unday, Funday things in their name, their days? Now, Dan, you're good with cars, right? Like, what?
No, I thought we established this earlier.
Oh, right. Yeah, you got your foot ran over by your own car.
What does he rip out of the car? Like...
Yeah, what does he rip? Was it like a brake hose or something? Because
it looked like a belt to me.
I thought it was a hose of sorts.
It very well could have been.
I thought it was his alternator. Like, I thought he wasn't going to be able to start the car.
Right.
And then it starts. I'm like, wait, he pulled something huge out of there. It shouldn't have been able to start. Like,
I love you, Jim.
I love you too, Betty.
Yeah, and the kids love you too. Well, that'll be $5.
Oh, well, there you go.
Should we give the man a tip, Jim?
Nope.
I told you we should have taken my car.
Your car? Since when did you ever pay for anything?
Leave them alone.
Drop dead, the lot of you.
Let's examine the character of Al Bundy for 1 second. How dark of an individual do you have to be to pull something from under his hood, throw it away, to sabotage his vehicle that has him and his family in it, just because he's a little obnoxious because they love each other?
Right.
no, Al, you missed it. The writers thought about this, and they decided to give Al an out. I was waiting for their 1970s movie explosion to happen when he's like, are we going to give him a tip? Nah.
No, you're wrong, though. That was after the fact.
Oh, no. But, like, I was not on Al's side. I'm like, he's destroying this guy's car. It's a little much. But then when he drives...
He's killing his family.
I'm like, you know what? Die, mother... like, I don't care anymore. Like,
But okay, look. Al does this, right? He spends how long under the hood? Long enough for them to have the smallest conversation, right? Rips this thing out because they're obnoxious. He goes $5. Meanwhile, so he's charging $5 to spend 20 seconds under the hood. Meanwhile, Joe spent like 5 minutes with these people, and he charged them absolutely nothing extra than the gas they bought.
I assume they got $5 in gas.
No, they didn't get any gas.
no, he got $5 of stuff taken out of his engine.
They didn't get gas at all?
No, he just ripped his car open and then they just pulled in to make fun of Al.
He pulled in and then said, what could I do? He says, just check under the hood. He didn't even ask for gas. Who goes to a gas station?
Maybe they charge if you don't get gas. Like they charge for hood service.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I've never tried
Al
it without
only
getting
charged
gas.
$2.
Because he got gas.
But then should he have been charged more? Like just like the 5 plus the 2?
I don't know.
It's almost like they didn't think that somebody would be making a podcast about this.
It's like they didn't think this through.
Well, in that situation, you're wasting my time, and you're not purchasing anything. So there's a surcharge.
It's more than it would be if you got $2 of gas, I guess.
And a $5 jerk charge. Pay it.
You're jerking me around. Give me $5.
But yeah, that is a dark thing, though. Like, he Death Wish 3. I swear I've seen Charles Bronson do this in one of the Death Wishes. Just like, hey, let me check into this vehicle.
Yep.
Yank.
So the poor man's Phil Hartman is Colby Chester. He's famous for Salvador, Emergency, Fear, The First Encounter, and Young and the Restless. Now, the wife who said, should we tip him, honey? And he's like, no. She's
Savage.
great. Yeah, she's Leah Aries. She was Janice in Bloodsport, basically the girlfriend of Jean-Claude Van Damme. She was in The Player, Eddie McCoon's Run, and The Burning, Jamie and Dan. You know her from The Burning. She, if you look her up, you'll remember.
I just watched Bloodsport not that long ago, and I didn't recognize her, so there's that.
Jamie, I've seen Bloodsport, this is not a joke, about 60 times. It's one of my favorite top 10 of all time ever, and I didn't recognize her.
It's one of the only Van Damme movies I can stomach. So
I've never seen it.
I actually love it. It's one of my
We should
favorites.
do a cut to the chase episode on it.
Dude, it's phenomenal. That's the greatest movie ever in that genre, I think.
It's settled. Because
Patreon exclusive?
Yes. No, it's one of those movies where I grew up with it for sure, and I absolutely loved it, but I probably haven't seen it in about 15 years.
Wow. Dude, it is amazing. I watch it every year of my life, yeah.
Well, it's settled then.
All right, we'll do it, man.
Coming soon.
So, yeah, she's a cool chick. I met her about 2 years ago. Got a picture with her and everything. I'll post that on the group page when we post the show.
Sweet.
So...
What about the kids?
Oh,
They got names. They named them,
Jim
right?
and Betty, I know, but I didn't
I
look
was
them
like,
up.
wait, they have names? Like, what the heck?
Well, they're juniors.
Oh, wait. Oh, wow, look at this. They actually do have a filmography. Okay, fine. Oh, and they were in 90210. 30 episodes in 90210.
Whoa!
You better do some research.
The kid is the more seasoned actor than the parents.
No, never mind. She's a casting associate. That's all she does. She just casts other people to be in stuff. Or he does, the boy. Jeffrey Roth.
What a failure, like, in life.
Yeah, you just cast other people to be famous. No, but casting people are really amazing sometimes, because if you have a movie where the cast is perfect, you give them total credit, yeah.
I thought you were going to say, if you have a movie without a cast, it's kind of hard to, like...
You couldn't cast anybody?
We need people.
The chick, the little daughter, I wouldn't say she's famous. She was in 8 Simple Rules with Katie Sagal again, though.
Oh, wow. That's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Like, she's probably like, hey, remember me? And she's like, no, I wasn't even in that scene.
You want to be a little jerk kid in the backseat of a car? Come on.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
She was in Surf Ninjas, Surf's Up.
Love Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas?
So the family pulls off and they crash, presumably because of what Al pulled from under their...
Immediately crashes. Like...
The look on his face as they drive away, he's like, wait for it, boom, and they immediately crash, right. So the only thing you can assume is that he pulled a brake line or something, which I don't think is located on the top of a...
He pulled the thing out of the car that stops the car from speeding up spontaneously and crashing into things.
I guess.
I told you we should have taken my car.
Your car? Since when did you ever pay for anything?
Leave them alone.
Drop dead, the lot of you.
You can just imagine them off stage, like, screaming at the top of their lungs. The director's like, no, louder, angrier.
No, I really like that line, though, just because Al's satisfaction was directly related to seeing how another family would react being down and out, being in his situation. Like, they flip so quickly. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So, like, Al's so used to it.
I love it.
He's like a pro at this. That's why I think he had so much satisfaction when they did turn on each other at the first, slightest inconvenience. I guess it's not a slight inconvenience, but...
You think you love each other? Wait till you have a bad car.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is a huge parallel to the Simpsons episode where, I think it was season 1, where Marge got drunk at a company plant picnic or something like that.
Singing Dean Martin's Pour the Wine. I'm so glad you brought this up. I didn't want to bring up the Simpsons again. Thank you.
Oh, no, I have no problem doing that. You remember where, like, it was the perfect family getting in their car and
I love you, Dad. I love you, too,
and then they
son.
drove off to heaven or whatever?
Son, give me a kiss. $5 for a kiss.
And then when Homer looks in his car, it looks like hell itself. And all the kids are the devils, and Marge is,
They're singing bingo. B-I-N-G-O, and bingo was it?
If you listen to this podcast backwards, they're actually Simpson episodes.
Maybe that's why he charged them $5.
Right.
Oh, ooh, Jamie with the
Nice.
Take my advice, buddy. You probably got a lot of women pressuring you into marrying them, but don't do it. Marriage leads to everything bad in life. Work, kids, Habib shirts. You understand what I mean? Tell your friends.
Al is lecturing a kid about marriage, but it turns out he's 12 years old, and the camera reveal shows that. You think he's talking to somebody who might be getting married soon, maybe, but no. The kid runs over Al's foot with his bicycle. And by the way, that's a goof. He actually does not run over Al's foot. You could
Yeah, he starts to pull his foot away just before the kid
rides off. Yeah?
car is fine, but bicycles, no.
Yeah, those were real.
Why'd I wear flip-flops today?
Yeah. Al starts doing he starts holding a sign.
Reminds me of the Dr. Shoe episode.
Yeah, 555 shoes. Rigney, if you want to know about pimps. So he's holding a sign that says, if you want to buy an authentic Habib shirt, it's $12. If you want to hear high school football stories, it's $5. If you want to run over my foot, it's $5.
$12.
Oh, do I keep saying 5? That's weird. Oh, you know why? No, there's a reason why I'm saying that. Because my subconscious wants to say that all these signs should have said $7 because Al just got 5. So he only needs 7 more, so why does he still want the 12?
What's that change? Like,
that's a good point. Well, plus, he's making some sort of wage at the gas station. So him being there as long as he was apparently there for 7 hours. So
thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much for pointing that out. I did more math in this episode. I figured out by guessing pretty well what Al makes an hour based on this. Because she's like, Marcie's like, you couldn't make $12 if you worked 10 straight hours at work. And I'm like, okay. So if Al works 10 straight hours, let's say he makes $11. And I divided it. At best, Al is making $1.37 an hour. Ouch.
Then he says, I'm moving, I must sell my family. It's $12. Erotic, this is the best one. Erotic massage. And then you hear a car screech. And then he flips the sign around and says, no men.
Which I thought it was going to be like an old woman or a fat woman or something like that,
With the look of fear on Al's face, like, oh God. But he doesn't say anything. I love Ed O'Neill's facial expressions. Like, sorry kind of face. Like,
the look on his face was perfect. And then we get the classic meme that we've been seeing all over the internet, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, when Al holds a sign that says, shoot me, $12.
Classic.
You've seen that,
Oh, yeah.
Married Children's great for memes, and Al just didn't know what he was doing back in the 90s, did he?
I just loved it because, isn't this is a running thing throughout the show? Al holding up signs and just or making these impressions. And I just can hear the director going, "All right, Al, grab the cardboard signs. Time to make some memes." Wait, what? Don't worry about it.
You'll figure this out in 30 years. So yeah, Al just needs the 7, but he's going all the way with this.
Al, don't even say a word. I've had a terrible day.
Peg, you've been gone 7 hours. Don't tell me you couldn't raise $12 in 7 hours.
Al, you have a job and you can't raise $12 in 7 hours. Now, do you want to hear about my day or what?
I'm sorry. Do go on.
Well, we went back to the house to look for the money. But Mom called. She was a little down. She got on a scale today and it said she weighed 380. She's been 374 since high school, and she's afraid she's getting fat.
Don't worry, Peg. She probably had 6 pounds of food stuck between her teeth.
I thought it'd be more than that. She has a pitchfork and a dagger for a spoon and knife.
Right. And she's only 380. I mean, they're being really realistic here.
She ate Possum Boy.
Possum Boy. She's been 374 since high school. That's a lot for high school.
That's a lot for high school. That's a lot, period.
That's a lot for high school.
They make TV shows about that.
Well, what I'm saying is you have to commend her because she maintained that weight for 40 years. Right.
She's doing a different type of calorie counting. All right, I've reached my 185,000th calorie limit for the day.
She's on the don't eat anything bigger than your head diet.
I literally can't intake any more calories.
The only reason I don't eat them while they're alive is because it takes too much energy to catch them.
When I think of how that woman loves you, thank God she can't hear you.
Thank God she can't eat me. Now, can we get to the money part of the story?
God, you're so impatient. Anyway, I found $20 in the pocket of one of your old shirts.
In the shirt that I wanted to wear today, but you couldn't find?
Yeah, maybe I learned a lesson. I should probably look when I said I did. Anyway, on the way over here, your car ran out of gas.
Too bad. Give me the money.
We don't have any money.
Well, you said you had $20.
Well, we did, before the taxi.
What taxi?
Well, the taxi we called when your car ran out of gas. It's just 2 blocks away. See, he's over there with the meter running. So stop dilly-dallying and just fill this can up.
Well, why should I fill it up? What's wrong with you?
We walked into full serve.
Oh, that just...
You just want to strangle her, man.
I call it the Peggy knife twist. Because there's a moment where she'll say something, it's the knife in the chest, and then immediately right after, she'll say something else like, oh, I took a cab. And you're like, you took a cab? Knife in the chest. Yeah, 2 blocks.
Yeah, that's the guy over there with the meter running, she said.
Twist hard. No!
Right. The meter's still running while they're talking.
Now, where's that full serve smile?
Daddy, is Bundy Sunday Funday officially over?
Yes, Pumpkin, I'm afraid that it is. But don't worry. See, next week we're going to take a nice drive up to the woods and we're going hunting. See, I'll be the only one carrying the rifle, and you kids can run out there and flush out the game. We'll call it Bundy Sunday Gun Day.
Oh, boy.
Indeed. That'll be $2, Peg.
Get it from my husband. He's a wealthy shoe salesman.
Now, Peg goes there to get gas filled in that like portable tank thing.
Gas can.
Bring me that portable gas container tank.
The gas bottle mover thingamabob, Jake.
I have more in common with Kelly than you think.
Bring me that gas receptacle.
And I'm surprised this doesn't actually show up on Goofs. There are people who write Goofs on this episode, and nobody mentioned that the dial wasn't spinning when Al was supposedly filling that thing with gas.
And he also just leaves the freaking pump on the floor.
On the floor, yeah, the hose is on the ground. So you could tell also when Peg hands it to her, it's empty. You could tell that. And here's the other weird thing. Peg bought $2 worth of gas, the same amount Al bought as soon as he got to this gas station, but Al didn't flick a drop into this thing. He actually filled it with $2 worth. So that shows that this guy was just being a jerk.
Right.
Joe was just being a jerk. Like they had the same price, but one's a drop and one's almost 2 gallons. You know.
Hey Ricky, I was reading the script that you sent over for this Married with Children episode. It's got a little thing wrong with the math here. What's that? Oh, you think no one cares, and if they do, screw them? Okay. Run.
Hey, what else are we gonna talk about?
That's my Hollywood accent, by the way, for any kind of like executive. It's just this Brooklyn accent.
Not you. Now, they're women. I expect that from them, but you. I expected a little more loyalty from you.
Dad, I tried to talk some sense into the women. I tried to make them hurry with the money.
Well, what happened?
The Sandman got me, Dad. Now I get all sleepy when I take a ride in the car. I napped all the way to the beach. The house.
Life is rough for you, isn't it, son?
Don't worry, Dad. Bud Bundy always lands on his feet.
Yeah. We'll find out about that when I get home.
Well, first of all, if I were Al, I wouldn't be the one at that gas station. because I didn't get the stuff.
Oh, good call.
That'd be a different episode. Yeah, like.
Well, I'll bet you that if they all worked, then they could have done it quicker. Paid off.
They would have blown that gas station up.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just want to tell you one thing, son. All I wanted to do was spend one day with my family. Am I to be punished for this? Yes. Because it's a stupid, moronic thing to want to waste your Sunday with your family. Well, I paid for it. But now it's time for someone else to pay for it. Habib is dead. Long live Habib. The only way to save this final Bundy Sunday fun day is to watch my only son suffer as I have suffered.
Al puts the shirt on Bud to suffer as Al has. So now he's wearing the Habib shirt.
The next car in here is yours.
The Swedish bikini team pulls up. If everybody remembers, the mystery of Skull Island. When
Hi, we're the Swedish bikini team.
How do they all know to say that? Like, what do they all rehearse this? Like, okay, guys, whenever we talk to people and present ourselves, we're all going to say it at the same time because we are one. We are one unit.
I was really hoping that's all they were going to say. It would be like the line from the show The Critic. Look at sign! And then the sign says, Cabby only knows 3 words in English.
No, they say that we want to take a ride down a bumpy road. So that means that you get to see some Hooters jiggle.
Wait, that's what that joke was?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was an edgier joke about, like Lois on Family Guy makes that, like, oh, Meg, like, when you drive down a bumpy road on just the right day, I know that's what they were talking about. Like, they were, you know, they wanted to get revved up to, you know, do, like, adult things, but...
Well, it's all interpretation. How do you guys take it?
I think honestly it could be taken either way for sure.
No, you're absolutely right, Alex.
I thought of boobs though, yeah.
Dirtier than I've way dirtier.
You could take it either way, but then Bud is only going to get something out of one of those.
Totally, right.
They love guys named Habib. How many guys are named Habib in Chicago?
Only one.
So Bud hops in and goes, man. So, you know, the whole thing is, you would say to Al, why don't you just leave? What are the repercussions? There has to be some, because...
I'm in a TV show. I have to be here.
Yeah, it's a TV show. Otherwise there'd be no episode. Yeah, right. But it would be like, well, why don't you just leave? Well, Joe just abandoned his post like he didn't care, and he was working that day, and Bud immediately abandons the post. So Al's there alone, and then a red Beetle. Remember the Beetle, the Bugs, or whatever they're called, those Volkswagens? Mm-hmm. That rolls up. It's a convertible, again, and in unison, the Chicago bowling team states who they are.
We're the Chicago bowling team. We're looking for guys named Al. We love guys named Al.
Let's boogie.
I guess I'm in luck, right?
Yeah, right.
You know what's great about this? It's because I hate these jokes about, like, the butch, lesbian, ugly woman thing. It's so old hack. But what I like about this is that they're actually somewhat attracted to me. Like, these look like some fun ladies. I would not mind going out to the bar, having some beers with them. I like them. And Al was with them too, I think, on that.
Yeah, just like you, Al said, let's boogie.
Yeah.
So Al takes off with these chicks, and that's that. He just leaves.
Could I bring back one little thing with Joe? When he comes up to Al, he's just like, so yeah, we're coming up to the biggest time of the day.
The busiest time, yeah.
Busiest time of the day. And for some reason, when I do Joe's voice, I do Nicolas Cage. And then it just, this next scene's weird because he just goes like, this chick comes up like, hey, Joe. And he looks like, hey, you, Then he like thinks for a second and goes, "Well, I guess you're on your own." It's like it was just like they thought it up in that second to do that scene right there and improv. It was interesting.
Yeah, I kind of wish Joe stuck around for the rest of the
Yeah, like he sounded like he was about to. Like, all right, man, we're coming up to the busiest time of the day. You and me, we're going to do it. That's right. Then this chick comes over. Hey, you know what? Instead,
right,
you do it.
They could have had a cool chemistry together. It's kind of a shame that never happened. Right?
I'd watch that spinoff. Al and Joe.
Al and Joe, 50-year-old Joe and 70-something-year-old Al.
I know, and witness protection. Al is Habib now and has to roommate with Joe, and I'm loving this. Write it now, folks.
Nice. So we'll be right back to rate this episode.
No, ma'am, we'll be right back to wrap up this week's review. Be sure to join their Facebook group page for all the podcast news and updates. Be sure to subscribe to them on the Apple Podcast app, and please leave a review telling them what you think of the show. To subscribe to their YouTube channel, just go to channels and search up Married with Children podcast. Now they're available on the TV Time app. Go to your app store and type in TV Time. Join their Patreon and support your favorite podcast with a small monthly donation. You can email them at marriedwchildrenpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for checking out this review. Now Dan, Jamie, and Alex are going to give their final thoughts on this week's episode.
How many Swedish girl hooters are a-bouncing? How many pairs of hooters are a-bouncing on these bumpy roads out of 5 for this episode, Jamie?
Ooh, I would. You know what? I'm going to say 5.
Whoa!
I legitimately laughed out loud a lot during this. I think there were some great jokes. I like the fact that we had a whole new set. Yeah, I'm going to say 5.
Yeah, nice. 5 out of 5. Perfection. Dan, how many Swedish girl hooters pairs of, you know what I mean, out of 5 are a-bouncing for this episode?
Well, Al, this episode gets all the boobs because this episode is the tits. I absolutely loved it. I think that the fact that they used all the big gun writers, it was the
creators.
It was an all hands on deck episode. It showed the set was good, whether it was a set or not, whether we're debating that or just the fact that we're debating that.
The lighting of the set
should be should be a testament to how good that was. Everything that we've talked about from all the one-liners, they even fit Marcie and Jefferson in there. It was just such a well-rounded episode. Everybody had great jokes. It was just it's one of those classic episodes where I think we've pretty much summed up why it's such a classic episode. They were really firing all cylinders for this one. So 5 boobs out of 5.
Yeah, this is guaranteed to be on everyone's top 5 of the wrap-up show. Absolutely. Our special guest, Tyler Tigno. How many Swedish pairs of hooters are a-bouncing on these bumpy roads out of 5 for this episode for you?
I'm going to have to go with Jamie and Dan too. 5 pairs of honking succulent breasts. This episode is a perfect episode if you want to just show someone Married with Children for the first time. Just be like, hey, that Jefferson is a guy who comes in later. Just don't worry about him. But it's got everything. It hits all the beats. Great Al stuff. The Shenandoah thing at the beginning because
Shenandoah?
Shenandoah, yeah. The great stuff with Joe. Great set. I was very surprised that I'd never seen this episode before, so this was a great episode to be on. And 5 pairs of succulent breasts completely.
Nice. Gotta say, you were a great addition to this show. It's amazing that you're such a big fan and you'd never seen this before, and you just straight out killed it on this review, dude. It literally is so good that it's just that kind of thing. Like, Dan knew what it was as soon as I talked about it, and, you know, he was just, like, a little bit more than a casual fan. Jamie grew up with it. I'm obsessed with it. So it's like you have to know this, and the fact that you didn't and still, you know, came out firing on all cylinders, that just is a testament to this episode. I mean, it was written by the two creators of the show. Every joke is amazing. I mean, you could say the ones where, well, you know, Bud thinks a chimp is hot. That's not such a great joke or whatever.
But that's not above the Bundys to make chimp and monkey jokes. I love it.
And then somebody could say that Kelly's, oh, we'll just breathe the air that's around. You could say, well, that really didn't kill it, really. That wasn't that great. But at the same time, you know what? It's like you could take 2 seconds of 22 minutes and point that out as something. But guess what? You can't say anything about the other 21 minutes and, you know, 56 seconds. I mean,
it doesn't burn you out. Sometimes when there's an episode where every joke is killer, it burns you out at the end.
You almost can't laugh anymore, right?
Yeah, I was able to laugh through this entire thing.
Right.
So it is just phenomenal. I mean, they pulled out every joke you could almost make about pulling your car up to a crappy car up to a gas station pump. You know?
Right.
The hood coming off, the light coming.
That was they take the hood off, like, completely.
Yeah, the tires are freaking flat. Like, there's nothing that's right with this guy's car. Is it engine plug? Her nylons were there look good driving or look good walking.
Oh, I forgot about the nylons. Oh, my God.
Yeah, like, everything.
Oh, and by the way, he said he was down 4 quarts of oil. That meant he probably still has at least 1 quart left from their first anniversary gift.
Wow, look at you, remember.
Wow.
Hey, I got good people, like, you know, throwing all these info at me to keep it in my head.
He's like, got a motor oil, 40 weight.
Hey, that oil's still in your car.
Yeah, it's still from the back then. Yeah, I wonder if she still has those road flares, though. That's what I'm really wondering.
Does she still have a car? The car that she won in the game show?
Oh, yeah, she got rid of that old car anyway and got that new Mustang. She don't even have that car, so it's weird that wow, that dude, you just pointed out a flaw.
Continuity problems with Married with Children? Never.
But then somebody could argue, well, we don't know that Peg sold that other car, so you know what? We can't win here. So.
It's in her storage. It's in her storage unit that Al doesn't know about.
Yes.
But yeah, amazing. Habib shirts are amazing. Every interaction, Marcie, Jefferson, like Dan said, amazing. Jefferson killed it with talking about the breasts. It just never. It never missed anything. This is a 5 out of 5. So this is a true Hall of Famer now. I mean, it's, you know, now we have a guest on, and we still got straight across 5 out of 5. So this is an absolute Hall of Fame episode, just like we said in the last one that it would be.
Yep.
This is what Married with Children is all about, man. This is it. The sarcasm, this type of humor, the low-life humor, the life sitting on Al's head with him. He has to go with those women at the end, and Bud gets the bikini team. But he wouldn't know what to do with them when he got them, so what good is that?
Nah, he like, you think Jim and American Pie with Nadia have the two best? Oh, boy, 6 of them. 6 Nadias. Oh.
All right, guys, so we're back to our normal weekly schedule.